talking.
Your
He's
face is not moving.
He's moving here, but the
Here it
whiteboard
just
is
started.
not off.
I'm scratching my head. Can you see me scratch my head?
Yes, I can.
Hero. I know your own is still start to kill.
Wow. I'm actually scratching my head.
I can see.
I can see Mr. Shion.
You can see me now, Abi?
I can see
I
you
can
very
see you.
well.
Okay.
Just the whiteboard that's not up.
It's just saying whiteboarding in progress.
It's all
For
right.
now,
Yeah,
every member
same here.
of this organization can participate.
Yeah.
Me,
Yes.
I mean, you cannot see anything. No. Hey, okay.
No worries, network.
I'm shocked that you say you cannot see anything. Now you guys will see something fast now.
Nothing.
What can you see?
AO.
OA.
Sorry, I'm upside down. OA.
Yeah, I can see your screen now.
What
I
can you
can
see?
see your workbench now.
Okay.
Okay, see my workbench.
Your
What
I
workbench.
can see it now.
Okay, can see workbench now. All right, so I'm going to stop presenting. I need this guy to pop my screen. Just hold on, please. Apologies. Just hold on. Even me set that for the system. All right, I think we're on the reset now. Bot is just joining. Okay. Don't worry. Every spirit that does not want me to explain today, they are almost at the end. So we're actually at the end, not at the end already. So all right. One more try. Oh, okay. Let me just continue explaining why my board comes up again. Going back to my workbench. All right. So please let me know if you can see my workbench so that we don't use that to waste time. All right. So what I was trying to explain,
Yes,
right? What I was trying to explain is that you have situations where you are working in a team. You're working in a team. Just give me a minute. Okay, let me ask you, have you ever tried a website before and maybe you try searching for food on the website? Maybe it's your favorite website and you go there and you say, okay, I want to buy a pizza. This is my favorite pizza. And you go there and you try to buy the pizza and it's like they don't have the pizza. So you kept refreshing and all of a sudden you can see the pizza. Have you ever been in that kind of scenario before? Where you tried buying pizza from a website, they didn't have pizza, didn't have your kind of pizza, then all of a sudden the pizza shows up. Have you seen that kind of scenario before? All right. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, sir.
Can you see my white screen now?
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. I have to go and look for. All right. Please let me know if you can see my white screen. I want to use this to explain what I'm trying to do.
Hello, sir.
Hello, can you see my white screen?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes.
All right. All right.
That means now only me knows I'm now. Wow.
Please, is network.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Mr. Lawal.
Yes. I've been trying to call your attention for some time now, but I guess it's not something.
Wow. Okay, talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me while we are dealing with all of this. Can you hear me? Yeah. Mr. Lawal, can you hear me? All right. Can you see my screen now? Where's everybody? Can anybody see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Mr. Shola, Mr. David.
Yes, I can.
All right. All right. Don't worry. Don't be tired. We're almost done. We're almost done. We're almost done. Mr. Lawal, I can't hear you. I can't seem to hear you. All right. So you can just jot down what you want to say to me so that we can talk about it after class. All right. So this is the database, right? This is a database, right? So let's assume that this is user A, right? It's connected to the database. This is user B, connected to the database, right? This is user C, it's connected to what? To the database, right? Now, user A is the one that created student table, right? He created student table and added what? 3 rows. Added 3 rows. Are you following me? Now, so the table is a public table because all of them are using the same, they are using the same database, right? They're using the same database. The database is Avita, right? They're using the same, or let's call it schema. They're using the same schema, and it's the Avita schema, right? So this guy on that schema created a table. Are you following? Created a table. On that table that he created, right? He created a table and added 3 what? Added 3 rows, right? Now, remember that when you create a table, you are using a DDL statement, which means that it is auto commit, right? And what that means is that because it's auto commit, when he was done creating the table, this person can see the table. So user B can see the table. User C can what? Can see the table. Right? They can see the table, right? And he has even given them permission on the table. He has given them permission on the table so they can use the table, right? Now, he now added 3 rows on the table. Are you following me? Remember that the table is on this database, right? He added 3 rows on the table. But when he added 3 rows on the table, this person wrote a select statement to say select all from students. And he saw no row selected, right? That's what he saw. He just saw no value. That is, there's nothing in the table. He called user C and said, user C, try this statement again. Maybe it's my own system that is doing anyhow. Select all from students, right? And they got the same response, right? No values. But this person has what? Has inserted 3 rows, right? So the question is, what is happening, right? What is happening? Now, what happens is that when you create a table and you use either insert, update, or delete, right? That is the 3 DML what? DML statement. When you use them, right? If you don't commit, are you following me? If you don't commit or roll back to that transaction, right? When you don't commit or roll back what you have done, we say that you have not performed a full transaction. I explained this in the first class, right? Now, if you you performed an insert, an update, or a delete, right? Now, at that point that you performed it, you are the only one that can see what you have done. Are you following me? You are the only one who will be able to see what you have done until when you either what? Commit the transaction. When you commit the transaction, what we say that what? You say that the transaction is what? Is good, and you what? And you save the transaction. What you have is that these 3 rows that you added is in what? Is on the instance, that is the memory. When you commit it, right? I've explained to you that when you perform a commit, it moves from what? From the instance into what? Into your database. That is, it moves into the data file. That is, it's now permanent in the data file. So that when you commit it, and that person, and this person now reruns what? Select statement, is able to see the 3 rows. Right? If you don't commit it, this person will not be able to see, these 2 guys will not be able to see what you have done. It is until when you have committed it that they can see what you have done. Now, when you write 3 statements, when you perform insert, update, or delete, right? And you discover that what? There is an error in what you have done. You use what? Rollback. Right? You use what? Rollback. You use rollback. When you observe that what? There is an error that you want to undo. Remember that in on Microsoft Word, when you what? When you want to, you are working on Microsoft Word, you are typing plenty things, right? How do you make it permanent? You say Control S, that's save, right? That means commit. That is, it means that anybody, you can now take that file and share with anybody. That file has been made to be a real file. When you are working on Microsoft Word and you mistakenly spelled a word, what do? You say undo, right? You undo that change. What happens? When you say you undo a change, what happens? It goes back to what? To the previous state of before what? Before the change, right? That is what we call rollback. So rollback is to what? Is to take a change made to undo it, right? Commit is to make a change permanent. Rollback is to what? Undo a change. Now, we say a transaction has been done. Are you following me? We say a transaction has been done. Let me clean all of this. Hold on, just give me a minute. We say a transaction has been done when 2 things happen, right? When 2 things happen. I'll show you here, then I'll go to Microsoft, I'll go to MySQL to show you what I mean, right? When we say a transaction has been done. Get cleaned up from time to. Now, we say a transaction has been done transaction has happened if after you what? If after a DML statement, that is insert, update, or delete, right? After you perform an insert statement, a update statement, or a delete statement, any one of them, right? You perform 2 things. Either you commit the transaction, right? You say a full transaction of it has been done, or you perform a rollback, right? I'll say that again. We say a transaction has been done when after you perform a DML statement, you either issue a commit or a rollback. What does this do? These 2 enforce data consistency. That's their function. They enforce data consistency. There's so many stories there that I don't want to go into, right? I can begin to dissect the science behind data consistency, the system change number, how the system change number works, how the DB writer works, how the recoverer works, how the redo log writer works. There's a whole lot of science behind that I don't want to go to, right? But what I just want you to understand is that when we say that when you say that a transaction has happened on the database, it means that after you have performed a DML statement, right? You either issue a commit to save the transaction, or you perform a rollback to undo the transaction. Data consistency means that at every time the data on the database is not messed up. That's the essence of data consistency. if you have changes in the database, say for example, like I have changes on my database presently, right? Like I have changes on my database presently that I have not committed, right? Let me show you in my what's it called? Now, all these changes, all these, remember that we created a table for students. That is an auto-committed statement. That's the full transaction. An auto-committed statement that is DML, they are full transactions. But then I created a table called student. Then I inserted 3 rows to it. You can see the 3 rows, right? But be rest assured that these 3 rows that you are seeing are not in the database yet. Are you following me? These 3 rows are not in the database yet. In fact, they are what? They are still in the memory, that's in the instance, right? Until when I issue a commit. If I issue this commit, if I run this statement now, then they become what? They become issued. Look at it. If I run this now. Right. Can you see? If I run this now, issuing this commit, are you following me? Makes everything that I've been doing on this database or on this schema, makes everything that I've been doing on this schema what? Permanent. Now, before issuing this commit, my database is in an inconsistent state, which means that I can see some things, some people cannot see those things. Therefore, there is no consistency. But now that I've issued commit, user A and user B and user C, user B and user C can now see these 3 columns from this what? From this query. They can, when they run select all from students, everybody apart from me can now see the content inside these 3. That's the essence of commit, right? If I add another user 4, let's add another content, right? Let's add another content, right? So let's say this is 4. 4. Let's call this who you are. Let's call this 3. MO at Abita is in sales, right? And sales is in sales business department as well, right? So if we run this now, sorry, it's in banking and payment. Let's run this now. Now, if I run this now, are you following me? If I run this now, it says that what? 1 role has been inserted. If I run students, are you following me? Now, I am able to see 4 informations, right? I'm able to see 4 rows. What happened is that every other person cannot see 4 rows. What they will see is what? How many rows? 3 rows. Until when I what? Until when I commit this change. That is, if I do not commit this change forever, they would not see the 4th row. What they will see is just the first 3 rows, because it is the first 3 rows that have made what? Permanent. They won't see this 4th row. Are you following me? They won't see this 4th row. Now, let's assume that this 4th row, there's an error. Let's assume that I discovered that what? There's an error in the 4th row that I've made, right? Now, I want to undo the change. Maybe it's not supposed to be in department business, right? And I put in department business. I'm supposed to just issue what? A rollback, right? This rollback, right, if we run rollback, right, is supposed to, right, take away that transaction that that statement that I just ran, right? But I don't know, it's not really working as I want it to, right? It's still showing, right? There's
Hello,
something
sir.
wrong. Yes, I can hear you.
The commit statement.
Yes.
Okay, fine. If you are doing commit, instead of on the workbench, can we, instead of running the commit statement, if we do the save button up there, will this still do the same purpose?
Save,
Yes.
yeah? No.
The save, yeah. The save
This
script.
one?
Yeah.
This is save script. Save script is different from saving to the database.
Okay.
Yeah, this is different. This is to save the script. What you are saving with save script is you are saving all of this script so that you can copy this script and take it to another database, right?
Okay.
That's what you are saving all these queries, right? But and making changes to the database is done by commit, right? And undoing the change is done by what? By rollback, right? Now, the reason why, don't be dismayed. This is not, like I said, it's not working here because we're using MySQL. And MySQL has its own, I don't know why it is not. Don't let me lie to you. I can't explain why this rollback. Because normally in Oracle, what this would do is that it will remove this 104 row that we have created. Right? It will remove it from, but I who created it can still see it there. If I run the rollback again, right? Can you see? And I select the students, all from students again. That rollback is supposed to have removed it, right? But it is not removing it, right? Now that tells me something that MySQL is not compliant with the status of SQL in that regard, which means that MySQL DML statements are auto commit, right? So if I want to remove that now, I'm just going to say delete from students where matric number underscore number equals 104. That is how to remove that, right? So in that situation, but rollback is supposed to help me roll this back, but it has auto committed what I'm doing. But just know that commit is to make changes permanent on the database. Rollback is to undo those changes. That's the essence of transaction control. Both of them, that's the essence of transaction control. Are you following me? Are you following me? Please let me know if you're following me. Let me know if you understood what I just explained, right? So that.
Yes.
Huh?
Okay, sir, I have a question.
Okay.
Okay, for other users to have access to your database, it means you have to first of all host the database, right?
Host it in what thing?
Like we are three working on a particular database, like just like you've explained now. If you have user A, user B, user C, that have access to a particular database, then for other users to have access to that particular database, do you need to host the database?
No. What you do is that for you to, so in this kind of situation, right? This is our database, right? Let's assume this is our database server. My system is database server, right? And I want multiple people to connect to this database. This database has to be on a server such that people can, which is one of the things I want to talk about now, right? Such that you want to be in a network environment, that is in a client server environment. Can you see that this takes us back to the first class? Remember that we said that we created each of our databases as a local host, which means that the client and the server are on the same system, right? But for you to have several users using the same database, right? You have to be in a client server environment such that when we create user, like I'm the owner, I'm the chief database of this database now. If I create user, right, the user can now log in into this database from his own system. They don't have to have the database on their own system. They just connect to my system, like you're connecting to Google.
Okay.
So when you have that kind of situation, then they can now what? They can now begin to use your database.
Okay.
But that is more of administrative part of database. That is not just SQL anymore. It is administrative part of is administrative database. I hope you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
Any other question before I continue? We have few more things to just look at, and then we'll be done. Right? Few more things to look at, and we'll be done. Any other question before I move on? Any other question before I move on? All right. So finally for this class, we want to talk about creating users, right? Creating users. like I said, this is a top up on, this is like an add-on that I'm giving to you, right? This is administrative. This part of SQL I want to talk about is administrative. Is administrative, and we just want to run through it so that you don't you don't you don't feel that like you don't feel cheated, or you understand it whenever you see it in anywhere, right? We just want to talk about creating users, and that is where we would stop today's class, and all that. We'll stop all the classes. That means you have done SQL to a good extent. You have covered SQL to a large extent, right? Hold on, just give me a minute. All right. So to create user, so we want to talk about creating user. Creating users on the database. Right? So to create a user is anybody who would be able to work with the database. It's as simple as that. Users are anybody who would be able to work with the database, right? So to create a user, you use the create user keyword, right? So you create user, the name of the user. Let's say, who do I want to create now? Let me call it Lizzie, right? I'm creating user called Lizzie, right? And you say identified by, right? So I'm going to give password. I'm saying web, right? So if I run this now, hold on for me, please. Hold on for me a little bit. I want to move to another tool. How many of us can still remember this platform? Can you see my black screen? How many of us can still remember this guy?
That is the command client. No?
Yeah, we always remember. We cannot forget this guy.
All right. It's loading. It's loading. I just want to show us how to create users so that we can use that and use that and use that. Yeah. I hope I can still remember my password. I know we are tired. Even I am tired. Oh, okay. Know what is happening. Yes. All right. So, SU space hyphen. Just hold on. Just hold on.
Hello, Master.
Yes.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Good evening. How you doing?
I did, Baba. I want to ask, supposing we have forget our password on this command line clients, can we? How do we go about it? Do we have to restart or uninstall and install again, or how do we solve the problem?
In case you what? I didn't get that.
So in case we forget our password here, or this enter password in this command line client.
Hold on. In case if you forget your password, that is administrative rule, right? That is some administrative rule kind of work there, right? And how do you solve it? You need administrative knowledge to solve that, which we don't have, or which this course is not covering, right?
Okay, what if we uninstall then
If you
reinstall again?
uninstall and restore, yes, if you uninstall and restore, it fixes it. It will fix it.
Okay, and secondly, I want to ask about the workbench, the schemas, and this SQL code from class or this SQL stuffs like that. What's the relationship between them? The table we are creating, is it on the schemas? Once we create them, they'll go to the schema like SYS or this thing, or is there any relationship between them?
So when you create a table, yes, take for example, today now we created this table inside this schema, all right? We created this table inside Avita. So each of them have their own table, or they have their own, they have their own table. If you go to HR has its own table. These are all the tables inside HR. If you go to classic mode, classic models has its own data as well. Can you see? So they all have their own tables. They all have their, not just tables, they all have their objects, right? This one has, can you see? This one has, so they all have their own objects, right? So, yes. So that's why whenever we want to use any one of them, we just want, so take for example, when I wanted to work on with this C schema, this one that is available, that is on here, what did I use? I use this. If I want to change it now, I say use HR, right? If I run this now, it means that I'm working from inside this schema now, not the sys anymore. I'm working from HR now. Do you understand?
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyone we want to use, we just use the command, the use command.
Yes, to activate it, yes.
Okay. So
right.
supposing we want to, from the code you sent, you shared on the platform, or this SQL or something.
I'm here. I can hear you. What's up?
All this code you shared that we downloaded. So
you know what?
are the code?
Okay. Are the code what? Are the code what?
The code. Supposing we want to run them, can we run them under any of this schema or down their own?
You can run them any other. Actually, if you run that code, right, it will help you create the HR schema. That's what it is. It will help you. Fumi, talk to me about this later. Don't let us use this to stop the class, right? Let's talk. You and I.
One last question, Master. I don't do. Now the last one be this one ask. But nevertheless, might just ask if you just talk on later. The last one be say, can't you just solve a project work on the application of this whole thing? Like when one is working in an organization or something, the likely solution or this thing, something like that, not just creating a table or something to just see the other side, sir.
I don't understand that question. I don't understand it.
The real life application of this SQL, sir. Can't you just work like, okay, supposing you are working in an organization, all this likely this thing that
everything
can just come.
Everything that we've done is a life. Everything that we've done here is what you do in life. Everything that we've done is what you will do live. Everything that we've done is live.
Okay.
All
No
right.
problem, sir.
All right, everyone. Sorry about that. Okay, so now two things. Hold on. Let me just try it here before I begin to explain. Create lazy, identified by. Yep. Okay, it's a bit different. Hold on. It's user right identified web. All right, awesome. Hold on, just one more minute, one more. Let me try it here again. Use this, right? So create user identified by web. Awesome. All right. So to create a user, right? To create a user, now you need two things to create a user, right? The create statement. You need the administrative role. You need administrative role to be able to create a user. That is, you need the privileges of an administrator to be able to create an administrator on the database to be able to create a user. That's one. Two, you need the create user privilege, right? Which most of us have because the database that we have were the root account on the database. So you can create user. So two things, you need administrative role and you need the create user privilege, right? To create a user. And to create a user, right, you use the create user statement, right? The create user statement. The name of the user, this is the name of the user. Create user, the username. Then identified by means password, right? It says this is where you put your password. So you say, so this user now is user shell and the password is web, right? User shell and password is what? Password is web. So how do I know, right? So if you want to connect, right? Let's assume you want to reconnect to the database, right? So I say username is what? Remember that we have this connection, right? So I want to connect Shion to the database. Yeah, so Shion, right? Connect to this database. Right? All of these are advanced, right? All of these are advanced, but just wanted to show us a little bit. So I'm trying to connect this guy. Users and privileges. Hold on. All right. Can you see? Look at the show that we just created, right? Can you see? Users. So if you go to server, under server, you see users and privileges, right? So you see login is shown. This is the password, confirm password. So these are all the users. Can you see? I created Lizzie as well. Can you see? Password. So from here, you can what? You can add an account, right? I can create another one. If I don't want to use command line, I can just say Caleb, right? And then password. Let's give the password as QWERTY, right? Confirm password QWERTY, right? If we say apply, can you see user Caleb has been created, right? User Caleb has been created. Now, what does this mean? means that these users can what? This user can log in into the database, right? You can log in into the database. And if you want to give this user roles, you can come to what kind of role do you want this user to be able to perform? Are you following me? Can you see administrative role, right? You want the person to be a DBA. Now, if you give the person this DBA role, they'll be able to perform all of these things. Can you see? You'll be able to perform all of these things. But instead, you can say you want him to be just a DBA manager, right? That grants full rights on all database, admin backup. Can you see? All the global privileges that it can do are selected here. Can you see? So you can, if you select everything, then the person is able to do all of this. Can you see? All of these are privileges of a DBA, right? So you can decide to say these are the privileges that I want to give to him. Then I can also add schema privileges, right? Schema privileges. If you say schema privileges, you say all schema. No, I'm not saying don't use all schema. Just use selected schema. So I want him to use, I want to give that user privilege on Avita. If I say okay, right? What do I want him to do? Can you see? I want him to be able to select, to update, to select, insert, update, delete, create, alter view, create view, indexes, reference and indexes. Then I want him to be able to lock give him grant opportunities. Then if I apply this, right, that user now has the privilege to perform all of that. That is user Caleb. Can you see? User Caleb is the one who have just granted all of these things to. So on Avita, right, it can do, can you see? It can do alter, create view, delete, grant options, index, create index, insert, reference, select, and update. Right? If I want to revoke privileges from him, this is grant and revoke. I can just what? Revoke. Is that I say, no, I want to remove this from him. I want to remove this from him. I want to remove create reference from him. I want to remove grant options from him. Then it is left with alter, create view, indexes, insert and select. Then I say apply, right? Right. So this is how to manage users, right? This is really how to manage. That's really how to manage users, right? On SQL, right, you can now begin to say grant select to Caleb on avita dot student. And select use this, right? Grant, just showing the SQL way to do what we just did. Grant select to Caleb. Caleb, just give me a minute. Let me check. Caleb, L-E. All right. To Caleb. All right. Legal authorization. Yeah, select. And create Caleb. All right, it's not working here. But majorly, right? Don't let us drag it too much, right? You can use the create user to create a user like this, create a user using this statement, or you come to users and privileges, So you can add privileges. All of this I'm going to give you is going to be part of the capstone project. You're going to create users, you're going to create tables, you're going to create views, you're going to create all of this. You're going to grant privileges to these users, grant privileges, create privileges. You create your own privilege, create a whole lot of stuff, right, that you can do, right? We'll do a whole lot of stuff from here. So this is more administrative. Like I said, this course does not cover for the administrative part of, can you see, there's a whole lot of stuff that you can do from here, but majorly, like I said, this course, this is just an add-on. That's why I'm not paying too much attention to it, right? So that we can rest. So you see, client connection. Right? Client connection. These are all the connections that are existing presently on the system, right? These are all the connections that are present. You can hide all these sleeping connections. Can you see? Hide background processes. These are all background processes that are running. So there's a whole lot that you can do, right? There's a whole lot that can be done. Don't load food thread, right? Load food thread. So there's a whole lot that can be done from the background processes and all that. So and on the administrative part, there's a whole lot that can be done. You can export data, you can import data, you can check server log. You can do a whole lot, right? You can do a lot, you can do a whole lot, you can do a whole lot. So that is administrative. So I've just showed us how to create users and all of that. Let's see again, what else have I not spoken about? Users and privileges, administrative role, right? So yes, so you can select any of these. Let me see. I think you can, yeah, all of the roles have been defined, right? So you can just add privileges to it. Add your own entry. So on any schema that you want the person to work, right? You just come to add entry and you select the schema, right? So if you want them to work on everything, you select all. But if you want them to work on a particular schema, you just say HR schema. And I say, okay. So I'm saying that I'm giving Lizzie privileges on HR schema. What privileges? Select, insert, update, delete, right? Create, alter, let's see, create, alter. What else can she do? Let's give her a little bit of grants and log table options, right? So if I say okay now, all of these will be applied to that user, which means that that user can do all of these on the HR schema, right? Can do all of this on the HR schema. So it's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Any question? Any question? I think we have been able to, you can check the dashboard, your dashboard for your database to see how your database is running, right? This is that, all of this, like I said, are administrative tasks, right? You can see dashboard of what is coming, incoming network traffic, database cache, buffer, all of these are administrative, right? DB writers, SQL statement execution, ongoing traffic. Can you see it's an ongoing data process? Is dynamic. Client connections, how many connections are here, how many select statements is running, how many insert, how many create, all of that, right? All of these are like I said, right? You can check performance reports, you can check performance reports. All of these are administrative tasks, right? So, but you need administrative role to be able to perform all of this, right? So you can see a whole lot of stuff that is happening based on memory, based on input output, based on high cost of SQL statements, database schema statistics, weights, and then yeah, your instance what DB statistics, resource use. You can check a whole lot of you can manage access settings. You can do a whole lot of stuff from here, right? This place we're creating, so you can create a new what? You can create a new connection, right? This is a new connection. You can create a new connection and all of that. So you can do a whole lot of stuff from there. You can do a whole lot of stuff. Yeah, what else? Can start up and shut down the database itself, option files. There's a whole lot, like I said, there's a whole lot that can be done. There's a whole lot that can be done. Can do a whole lot of advanced settings, replications, and all that, right? So there's a whole lot that can be done from here. Please and please do not just rest on it. You can look at it, fiddle with it. If you have any problem with it, don't worry, we will fix it. But it will be good to not just learn the SQL, but to be familiar with the environment as well, right? You are familiar with the environment as well. All right. To this end, I asked, okay, two people asked questions. Mr. Lucky and Lydia. Mr. Lucky, please ask your question so that we can be wrapping up.
Okay, Mr. Joe, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
I have two questions here. And one is, in course of creating this, granting this access,
Yeah.
you say created, that is grant access to Sheung. Let me say, for example, I am the one granting the access. I'm granted to Sheung. You now say created by web. The web in this case,
that's the password.
The password for who? For that Sheung will be using to log into the database.
Yes.
Okay, you are the one creating a password for Sheung as well.
You create a password. Let me show you. You create a password, right? Let's go back to users and it's a beautiful question that you asked, actually. All right, yes. So you create a password, right? So let me show you. So let's say let me delete all these accounts that I created. So you can delete an account from here. Yeah, do you want to delete Sheung? Delete Sheung has been deleted. You want to delete Lizzie? This is deleted. All their privileges that you're giving to them is gone as well, right? Now, I want to create a new account. So I'm going to call the name of the account Lucky, right? Let's use your name, right? CKY. And then we'll call password is Lucky, right? Password is Lucky. Password is Lucky, right? Apply. Consider using blah, 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 password. Now, if I want to say, it says expire password. It says this forces users to change the password afterwards logging, right? The user will be unable to issue a command other than set password, right? Now, if I remember that I just created this account, right?
Yeah.
Let me create. Let me see. Let's call it Lucky 123. Lucky 123, right? Say hold on. Lucky 123 standard, right? Type of user standard. Lucky 123. Lucky 123, right? So I apply
No, it's not complete. It's not complete. Yeah, password is not complete.
Y123, right? So if I apply now, can you see the user has been created, right? After I've created the user, I have to force the user to change the password.
Default password. Okay.
Right. So how do you do that? So I come to rules. I come to roles, right? I have to give the user. Where is it? Okay. Now by default in MySQL, right? That's why I prefer Oracle to all of this, right? But MySQL is a very strong database. It's also very used, right? You're supposed to give the user a create section privilege. Create section privilege, right? And that privilege allows the user to be able to change his own password, right? So the password, the user will just, so after we've created user Lucky, are you following me? After we created user Lucky will now use this username and password to try to log in, right? When he logs into the data, are you following me? When he logs into the database from this environment, from this database connection environment, right? When he logs in, right? So take for example, we say Lucky, right? Which let's use this connection. Now, this connection is restricting users. That's why I've not been able to use it connect, right? It's restricting user because we did not put any connection, we don't put any user on it. So which means that I have to add the user on it actually. But I'm just giving you an example of how to log in. So say we put user log here and the user was able to connect, right? When he connects into the database, the first thing he has to do is to change his password.
Yeah.
Are you
I get
following?
that.
The
Yeah.
first thing he has to do is to change his password, because I'm going to click on this expire password. If I click on this expire password, now I will know as a database administrator, the chief database administrator, you will know when the user logs in. How do you know?
Okay.
Yeah, you will know when the user logs in because you come to this dashboard, right? You come to this dashboard. Are you following me? If you come to this dashboard, you'll be able to see the number of users that are in your database. Client connection.
Okay.
Can you see this client connection part? You'll be able to see
Yes.
the number of users that are here. So if I
Okay.
click on and begin, there's so many administrative things that we can do from here. You will see the number of
Okay.
users that can you see that can come here. Can you see it puts a limit? It says that the highest number of people that can connect to this database at any point in time is 151. Right? Can you see 151? And I have just 5 users connected, right? So from here, I would know when a user logs in. I can put an alert. Like I said, these are all administrative protocol. I can put an alert on it and say that anytime a user logs in, let me know, right? So when the user logs in, right, what do I do? So I've told the user that once you log in, you have to change your password, right? So if he does not change his password, now he can't know. But once he logs in, I just click on this. No, I have to click on this expire password. If I click on this expire password, right, the user remains logged in. But if he logs out, he will not be able to log in again.
Okay.
This is what they do in the bank when they sack somebody. When they sack you in the bank, you say you cannot log in with your password anymore. This is just the admin will just create expire password. The person will be able to log in.
Okay, I get
But
you.
all of these are administrative. They are administrative tasks.
Okay, Mr. Shell. I said I had 2 questions.
Yes,
now the other one is this course. The title is MySQL for Database Administrator. You are training us to become
data analyst.
Yes, you are training us to become administrators. So is it not wise that we know this administrative aspect of the course?
Now, truth is,
I was thinking this will cover it.
No, it's just this is SQL. What we did was the title of the course is SQL for database administrator, data analyst, and all that. And in truth, right, what you need to know, even this full database administrator course or learning this whole thing is more expensive, right? I won't lie to you, it's more expensive,
of
right?
course, I know.
Right. So, but what you need, right? Since we are training. The target is to be a data scientist. You really do not need the administrative part, right? Because you are probably going to be working in an environment where you have a database administrator. But the reason why we need SQL is to understand SQL itself, right? Not the administrative part. But if you look at it, I did not just put it on SQL. I have to talk about the administrative part to an extent so that you understand. But the administrative part makes you a full DBA. That is a database administrator. That's what it makes you. It makes you a full DBA. Do you understand that?
Yeah. But so for us to land the job within 6 weeks now, we need to know these administrative things you are showing us.
Well, not really, right? The reason why I just showed you the administrative part is that so that you have a full glare of what is possible on a database, right? This last part, I could have skipped it and it would not have affected your SQL, right? But I wanted you to understand that not just writing commands that we do on the database, right? There are several other things to it. And it's good that you understand basic things like creating users, passwording, how resources, how to grant and revoke and all of that, right? That is why we went through this. In fact, like I said, some people will teach you SQL and the only thing that they will teach you is called CRUD, which was the first thing I mentioned in the very first plan. CRUD. I said, what they will teach you is create, read, author, and delete, right? But this course that we have done is the
You're right.
full SQL.
You're right.
It's the full SQL. So, but I wanted you to just see that there's more to not just SQL now. There's more to database, right? This is
of course.
database.
You did well.
So that's what we're doing. But in real sense, in the real sense of it, right? Unless if you are choosing a full database career,
Okay.
you can now major on this part. And if you are even doing a full database career, I will not suggest that you go to MySQL. I'll probably say that you go and learn Oracle, right? That covers the full part of it, right? But but for data science, for everybody that's just going to be working with databases and all that, what you need is SQL. Does that make sense?
All right. Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you.
Madam Lydia, I could see your hand up. Are you still there? Do you have any question for me? Any other person? Any other question?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please ask your question.
Sorry, I want to take you back because I was looking at the course outline you sent to us. I noticed you didn't talk about truncate statement and database something starts with end with. Sorry, I have to go back to check.
Start with end with. I'm coming. Truncate.
Database transactions. Yes.
I talked about that database transaction. Yes, I said database transaction starts with when you run a DML statement and you end it with it's either a commit or a rollback. We'll talk about that.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I explained that.
Sorry, what about the truncate statement?
Truncate, we have actually spoken about truncate before, but all right, let's talk about truncate. Let's use which database should we use now? Let's use Avita, yeah. All right, let's use Avita. We've talked about truncate. I spoke about truncate some classes ago, all right? But yes, the truncate statement, we've talked about the truncate statement. I said that the truncate statement is used to, we use the truncate to delete the content of a table, but the structure of the table still exists. So take, for example, if I say truncate student, right? Now, before we truncate the student, let's select all from students, right? Let's select all from students. Right, this is everything that you have in students, right? Now, if I truncate student, if I truncate student, right, now, the student table has been truncated. So if we say select all from students, let's see what happens. Can you see? The structure of the table still exists, but the content inside of it is gone. That's the essence of truncate. Truncate is different from delete. Delete will delete both the content and the structure of the table, right? But truncate would only delete the content of the table, leaving the structure of the table. Can you see that the table still exists, but it has deleted all the records inside of the table? That's the essence of truncate.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the essence.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Mr. Show, that's your language. Awesome.
Hello, Mr. Show. Good evening.
She's here finally. I've missed you. Where have you been? Adamodola.
Good evening.
Ran away. What happened?
I didn't run away. I did hospital. They admit one of my children. So the way I'm doing on and go. I don't have time. I'm not time.
How is he now? How is he or she?
He's fine. He's fine.
So,
so you said we are through with our course today?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What about our remaining book?
Yes, I would. So, which is what I will talk about all of that after. I just wanted people to ask all the questions that is necessary for the course. Yes, I'm going to send you, like I said, our admin mentioned earlier. I'm going to send you the full course material, that is my own developed SQL material for this program. I've given you, I think, about half of it already, but I'm almost done completing it. So I'm going to send that to you. I'm going to send your project to you, your capstone projects to you. We're going to send you a mail of your group and your group members so that you can reach out to them. We'll probably share the numbers as well, or you can pick up their numbers from WhatsApp. So we'll send the curriculum to you. I mean, I'll send the materials to you. I'll send your assignment, your project to you and your group as well. And yes, for everybody who we'll send all the necessary things that you need, we'll send them to you. Send them to you. Send them to you. Don't worry.
But the group is still exists.
Yes, the group now. Remember that I don't know if you were there when Okwe was talking. Okwe talked about communities, right? And I've said it before that communities help in helping us grow, right? I've said it 1,000,001 time that you cannot learn tech by yourself. You'll get tired. But when you see people grow, it would motivate you to also want to learn, right? And that's why that group will continue. That group will continue so that when we can share materials, right? We can share resources. When you see job offers, when you learn something new, you can come and drop it on the group and say, guys, this is what I learned. Like Mr. Davidson. Mr. Davidson, remind me that question that you asked. I'll put a solution to it on the group, right? Like Mr. Davidson came and dropped the question on the group. I was expecting people to attempt it, but people doing it. That's how you grow. It's just 5 minutes, 10 minutes, just attempt it.
Actually, that was an interview question.
That was your interview question.
That was an interview question.
Yes. That is how to. Yes, you can attempt it, right? Attempt it, and once you, the reason why I've not answered that question is because I was expecting people would attempt it. I don't just want to spoon feed us, right? I want us to also make attempt, right? Make attempt it. When you attempt it, Mr. Shewo or Shewo, just look at what I've done. So, do you think this is right? Do you get? Then we'll look at it together. Then I would send the right answer to you, and you compare it to what you've done. You learn from a mistake, and that is what the community does, right? That is how to learn from the community. It's not that you have to make effort. If you don't make effort, the community is still going to be useless to you. You just go and read something in the community and you don't practice it. It's still going to be useless. You have to make effort. And I've told you that all you just need is, imagine with all that we have learned, spend 30 minutes to 1 hour a day on it from beginning to the end. Watch the videos, just spend 1 hour a day, and come on. If you don't become a guru, right, in 3 months, come and meet me. I will give you your money, or I'll give you all the time that you, if possible. If I can give you the time that you have spent, I'll give it back to you, because there is no way you will see the improvement by yourself, right? If you give you capstone projects, right, you do your own capstone project, leverage on other people's capstone projects that they have, help them, be involved. Have you done this one? What problem are you facing? Have you done this one? Imagine that I give you one project, right? You're a group of 5, but I give you a project. Each person has their own different project, but you're in a group of 5. You did your project. You helped, say, I helped Titi do our project. I helped Salado do our project. I helped Mr. Ben do his project. I helped Mr. Shola do his project. That is 4 projects apart from my own project. What it means is that you have 5 projects to your name. So if you go to an interview and they say, what have you worked on? You say you have worked on 5 different CAP projects. It's as simple as that. There is nobody who will say you have not done enough if you have 5 capstone projects to your name. That is how to learn, right? That is how to learn. So don't worry. The group is going to be on, right? In fact, some more people are still going to join us on the group, because when we have the code too, we'll bring them also up. We'll create their own group. Then they'll come and have conversation with you on the group so that they can learn from you. We'll probably have meetups once in a while, physical meetups where we can meet, gather somewhere, eat, and learn from each other. Just spend 1 or 2 hours together before just meetups. We'll probably have meetups as we continue, and as we grow, right? As we grow, we'll probably have meetups. You are seniors to people now, right? So some people are going to come and you're going to be telling them that, now, so this is how we did it, or this is how you're going to do it, like that. So you are not just learning for yourself, you are learning for a community. You have been given, you have to also give back. That's the way it works, right? Imagine that I just learned this thing and I don't teach anybody, right? Okwe just learned it. She doesn't teach anybody. Nobody's going to learn. And I've told you that the name of the company is Avita. Avita means heirloom in Latin. It means that knowledge, we see knowledge as an heirloom. Heirloom is something that is passed down from generation to generation. A valuable stuff or a valuable item that is passed down from generation to generation. If you watch all these American movies or British movies, they'll say that they are using, the ladies will say, I want to use my great grandma's wedding gown. That wedding gown is an heirloom. Somebody will say that my father gave me this wristwatch. That's an heirloom. And for us, knowledge is an heirloom. Technology knowledge for me is an heirloom, and I'm ready to pass it down for as many people as ready to learn. So just engage the community. It's as simple as that. You don't have to spend all day in the community. When you see something new, drop it on it. Even if it's a meme. I dropped a meme of select select 3 where Andy calls something. I dropped that meme some days ago. Even if it's just a meme, drop on the group, right? That is engagement, right? Somebody will see it, they will just laugh. Then the person will remember and say, and I read this thing in the morning. They'll go and bring that article. They'll drop it on the group. Everybody goes through it. You learn something. That is how to grow. And if we do that in 3 months, in 4 months, in 5 months, in 6 months, set a goal for yourself. You can, if you want us to help you, you can share the goal with you and say, share the goal with us and say, help me monitor that I must read 1 hour every day. And somebody will chat you up around 10 o'clock and say, this is the time that you say you wanted to learn. Oh yeah, stand up. What are you doing? Stand up and go and learn, right? And you have questions, bring it on the group. You can private chat me, you can put it on the group. Before I would encourage that before you even private chat me, drop it on the group. Let people attempt that question. It is when they don't get it, then I come in, then we look at it together and I show you and say, okay, this is what I think you have done wrong. This is what, like, take for example, I also belong to some group. I keep coming to class and tell you that I follow this guy on Twitter, I follow that guy on Twitter, I'm following this forum, I'm following that forum. That is how everybody is learning. Nobody has time to sit down 10 hours to read that. I don't have that time anymore. But little code here and there, little thing that this guy said here and there, I'm learning every day, and that's how we learn, right? So I hope that you can leverage on all of this to grow. I want to really see us grow. I don't want to see that we just did this and we just dropped it, and they ask you in under 2 months that what is select statement. They say, what are they talking about? Which one is select again? No, we need to grow. We need to be able to understand these things and use them, right? And use them. For those of us that are working in organizations where we know that they have databases and maybe you have friends in the IT department and all that. Once in a while, just scope your friend. Let me quickly see your database. Let me see how you guys structured it. Let me see if I can do a few things. Can you just see it and see if you can say, okay, I don't mind giving you 1 hour of my time every day just to come and help you guys. Just find a way around it. Just find a way around it. Try to apply the knowledge. If you have challenges, bring it on the group, message it to me, we will work on it. Right? So, Madam Mondrola, everything that is needed, I'm going to drop them during this week. Everything, your assignment, your project and everything, I'm going to drop everything.
Sir, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Yes, about your upcoming stuff, about your upcoming program.
Yes,
thank you. I heard few about it, but I'm not sit with laptop that time you're talking about.
That's fine. Let me just talk about it briefly. Yes. The upcoming programs truth be told, a few people have already reached out to me and say that what are we learning next? What's the next thing to learn? How do we grow? And I've told you that what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to teach.
Sorry, Mr. Shino.
Yes,
sorry, Mr. Shino. I want to tell you something before you go. You told us last time, say you will tell us what we need for data science.
Yes.
What we need, all the program we need. You tell us you will list everything for us.
We've actually talked about it today already. I listed about almost 20 skills today. We've talked about it today already, right? But don't worry, you private chat me. I'm going to send those lists to you. But everybody has seen the list today, right? I've shown them the list. And like I said, what I'm committed to do is creating smaller courses such like this, 4 weeks, 6 weeks courses that we can use to learn a whole lot of programs to prepare us, right? And take away the burden of you having to go and sit down in a comprehensive class and having to read and all of that. Just dish it out to you in very concise, ready to use form, right? So yes, we have about 2 trainings being planned presently that is ongoing presently. Data visualization is one of them. I've always mentioned it. That's Power BI, Tableau, and maybe Google Data Studio, right? We'll be doing that, right? Then also, talking about doing cloud computing with a friend of mine, although he's still the one dragging me, right? Although for the cloud computing, we are going to do it in 2 weeks. We are going to do a free 1 or 2 days, taste where you don't have to pay, right? Then when we see that people are registering for it, right, then we'll do a full course on cloud computing. Amazon and maybe Alibaba or Azure or whichever one. We'll probably do about 2 of them, right? Then also, so what we are trying to do is I'm going to send you a feedback form during the week. I know that a whole lot of people have given me feedbacks via the call today. I'm going to send a feedback form to us this week just to rate the class and to give us feedback on what you would like to learn. Also, I'd like to know what you would like to learn next. So you'll probably see a list of few courses. Just pick the one that you think you're interested in, and that would help us curate the next program that we want to do, right? But like I said, we're committed to doing, and I'm actually committed to doing this thing at reduced prices such that people can afford it. And presently, there's somebody in this class, there's somebody in this batch that has dropped out of this batch that could not understand what we're saying. And the person came to meet me and said that if I'm going to teach him or her SQL privately, how much do I teach? And I told her that the least that I do SQL privately is 250,000, right? Just SQL, 250,000. That's how much I do it, right? And she was like, what? I was like, yes. And she's actually ready to pay, right? She's ready to pay. She's just trying to price me small. But so imagine that I want to teach you Amazon or AWS or Power BI and all of that. Is this to do it one-on-one is expensive. But if I can get another 20 people to register for this program, I can bring it to you at a much cheaper price. It pays me that way. It also pays you. It pays the company and it also pays you that way, right? So that is what we are trying to do. So like I said, the feedback form is going to come. Please help me fill it when it comes to you. I need everybody's response so that we can, from your responses, I will know the next program to create. Right? But trust me, we are going to develop programs that will take you from where we are presently to being ready for a job, ready. Presently, you are job ready for any SQL job. What our advice is, begin to look for opportunities, internship, migration from your role in your office to another role, and all of that, right? So just begin to look for opportunities, capstone projects online, so that when you are done with that, and we had another skill on top of it, and we had another skill on top of it, and we had another skill on top of it, you discover that in space of 6 months, with less than 300,000, right, you probably have learned about 5 courses. And in 6 months, you say, me too, I'm ready. I'm ready as a data scientist. I'm ready as a data analyst. That is what it's going to be, right? So that is the aim. Any question? Any other question? Any other question? So that we can wrap up today. Today is a bit strenuous because we could not have class yesterday, right? We would not have been like this if we had been able to have, but rain, right? Rain took time and all that. But I hope that we have been able to learn a whole lot.
Someone is asking question on WhatsApp group.
Let me check this WhatsApp group. What? Plenty questions already. What? Okay. Just hold on. WhatsApp group. Okay. Also check my connection. So breaking transmission. Okay. Mr. Ben sent images. Let me see. What are these images for? Okay, showing me that you can see. What's up with save points? Let me call. Okay, save points. Okay, save points is. I think I've mentioned save point. I've actually explained save point. I think in the first class or second class, I mentioned save point. Save point is. So take for example. Let's assume that you perform a DML statement. Let me see. Let's hold on. Save point is just a guarantee point that says that what I've done so far is good enough, right? Let me see if we can run this. Right, yeah, we run that. All right, so let me see. I think there's another one we can run here, right? Awesome. So we've added 2 columns, right? Let me run select all from students, right? I run select all from students. Now, I want to say that, okay, so let's assume that you are trying to update 100 rows and you've updated, let's say 20 rows, and you discover that the 20 rows that you've done are good, right? You want to update 20 rows, 100 rows, but you've only updated 20 rows, and you discover that the 20 rows are good, right? What you do is you create a save point. Create a save point and say, good, maybe let's call it insert underscore 20, right? If I create this save point insert underscore 20, right? You see that it says save point insert underscore 20 created, right? Now, what this save point does is that if I now move on and I added another 30 rows and I discover that there's an error somewhere between the 30 rows, I don't have to go back to, if I want to undo, remember we said that you roll back your transaction when you perform an error, when you see that there's an error in it. So let's assume that I've updated 30 rows and there's error and I want to roll back. All I just need to do is roll back. I don't need to go back to the beginning. All I just need to do is roll back to insert underscore 20, right? So I'll roll back to what? I'll roll back to this particular save point, roll back to insert underscore 20. If I roll back to this save point, it will take me to the last time this information was what? The last time my query was okay. Does not exist here. Why? Does not exist. You created it now. Save point. Where is the underscore 20? Why is he omitting the underscore 20? Right? Hold on. Go back to save point. Yeah, it's supposed to be the name of the save point. I don't know why all of this is not working, right? But that is how to the name of the. Okay, don't load. Let me create another one. Create a save point insert 20, right? Let's run this. All right. So if I now want to undo my changes, remember that I said that this is the last. So I created the save point on 20, right? On that, these first 20 rows are good. An error occurred in between 20 and 50. And I want to roll back to I want to undo all the changes back to to the last good point. My last good point is insert insert 20. So I'll just say roll back to insert 20. Right? It will roll back to that. It will roll back to what? It will roll back to that particular That particular I don't know why. Just saw it get created right now. Well, this might be one of the challenges of MySQL, right? This should work. I don't know why it is not working. But do you get the gist, right? That is how save point works, right? That's how save point works. I'll try and put the right I'll put a what's it called? Hold on. Roll back to save point underscore name. Yes. right? I don't know why it is not roll back to, right? I don't know why it is not working, but that is how it works, right? This code is, all this code that I ran are correct, right? I'll do a documentation on all of them so that you can see, so that you can have it. But this is how to create a save point. This is how to create a save point, right? That's how to create a save point, and that is how to use a save point, right? This is how to use a save point. This is how to create a save point. This is how to use, hold on. So let's say save point SP2. Right, can you see? So that's the save point. So if I say roll back to the name of the save point, SP2, right? I don't know. This MySQL is troublesome. I don't know. But that is how to use a save point. So a save point will just roll back to what? It will roll back to the last good state of your information. Then you can continue again from there, right? So it's like you're going from Lagos to Abuja, right? And you stopped at Ibadan, right? To pass the night. When you want to continue your journey, do you go back to Lagos? No, you start from Ibadan and you continue. That's the essence of save point, right? I hope I've answered that question. Any other question, please? 6 hours, 11 minutes. What? That's serious. Any other
Please,
question?
Mr. Shem,
Yes,
the
ma'am.
last question.
Yes.
The code we are using in class, please share it too.
Yes, I'll share the code.
Okay.
All right. Mr. Ben.
Yes, boss.
Yes, sir.
No, I'm fine. I'm good. I just want to move for adjournment.
Oh, yes. That's what we're trying to do. Right. Any other question? All right. So this we have brought the class to an end. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for believing in Avita. My wife said that in the when she was giving her thanks before she logged out of class. Thank you for believing in us. Thank you for taking that thank you for taking a chance on us, even though we're a young company, and thank you for believing in us. That's all I can say. Thank you so much. I appreciate every single person who has given us a penny just to buy into what we're trying to do. God bless you. You continue to be my prayers, and I know that the opportunities are going to come. We're going to be what we want to be. Set your goals, and we're going to get there together, holding each other's hands till we get to that point where we want to be. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Titi. Thank you, Muiwa. Thank you for Mr. Ben. Thank you, Mr. Loki. Thank you, Mrs. Odonla. Thank you, Mr. Kolawole. Thank you, Mr. Lekon, Madam Mayowa, Madam Lydia. Thank you so much. Thank you for everybody who has also left class. Mr. Ikechuku, Madam Odonla, everybody, Neka, Shidebere, everybody, Madam Jokotade, everybody that has tried for us. God bless you. Thank you. God bless you. You can log out of class now. Bye.
Thank you, Mr. Inka. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
I love you
you.
guys.
God bless you.
Thank you.